In this video, we're going to be going through how to set up your PowerSchool gradebook for a year-long class. Now, I've already logged into the gradebook, and the one thing you'll need to click on is this grade setup. And you'll see this option right here once you get to that grade setup. You'll see all of your terms. I'm going to go through these terms because understanding how these terms calculate is important of why we have to set up these things a certain way. The F1 is the grade for the entire year. So what it does is averages semester 1 and semester 2 grades to make the final year average. The S1 is the average of quarter 1 and quarter 2. The S2 is the average of quarter 3 and quarter 4. And then the E0 is an exam grade. You won't use the E0 unless you're a Math 1 teacher that has to give an EOC that counts 20% of the grade. But most elementary and middle school teachers will not need the E0. Now, in order to set up your quarters and your semesters right, let's start with the F1, our final year. I'm going to double click on that folder, and then it brings me here. By default, everything is set up to total points. We'll need to switch it to term weights. And what we'll do is this S1 will be 50%, and then you can hit enter. Our S2 will be 50%, and you can hit enter. And our E0 will be 0. Now remember, this only applies if you're teaching a course that you don't have to count an exam 20%. So Math 1 is the exception to this. Once you've done that, you'll click Save. When you do that, then you can move on to your semesters. For this video, I'll have to not save because it won't allow me to save into this mock gradebook. The semesters are the same way, so I'm going to click on this S1, and we also need to change those to term weights. Once you do that, you can leave the weight of both of these to 100 and 100 because it automatically adjusts the percent to 50 and 50. And then we'll hit Save. We'll do the same thing for S2. We'll change it to term weights and then hit Save. The one thing that you'll have to really think about is how you want to set up your gradebook for each quarter, because that one's up to you. You'll either choose total points or category weights. If you choose total points, everything counts the same. So every assignment counts the exact same amount. So you can do a straight average and get your grade. This also allows you to count certain things more than one time. Like if you wanted a test to count twice, but a classwork assignment to only count once, you can do that. It works just fine. The other option is category weights. And when you do that, you'll have to add categories based on how you grade in class. So let's say I wanted to add a homework, a classwork, a test, and a quiz category. I can add those. And then I just fill in the weights so that they add up to 100. It's important that they add up to 100. If you can't keep track of how many assignments you have in each weight, I would suggest total points. Because, for instance, let's say I count my classwork 20%, and I only give one classwork grade for the entire quarter. That means their entire quarter grade that is made up of these 4 categories, 20% of that comes from one grade, which could be a big deal. I mean, that could drop a student a letter grade if they had one bad grade. So just keep that in mind. Once you finish with your setup, you'll hit Save. And then here's the neat thing. We can use this copy feature. So where it says calculate Q1 final grade using, and then it has this little gray copy button. When we click that, it'll ask if I want to do the entire class or quarter 1 only. If I want to take my quarter setups and go to the other quarters, then we'll just do the quarter 1 only and click OK. And then what I'll do is I'll select my other quarters, I'll hit next, and then I'll hit finish. When I do that, all of my quarters will be set up in that one class for the whole year. Now, once we're back to this screen, we can hit copy again, except this time let's do the entire class. When I click the entire class, now you see that I have all of my other classes here. So then I'll just select all of my classes, hit next, and then I'll click finish, and I'm done. It will set everything up and everything is ready to go for the entire year. Once you're done copying, your gradebook is set up and you're ready to move on.